America's foundation rests upon a radical premise. Our rights are inherent, not granted by government. This idea was revolutionary at the time of the nation's founding and remains a cornerstone of our society today. It means that our freedoms are not privileges bestowed upon us by those in power, but fundamental rights that we possess simply by virtue of being human. This principle is enshrined in the Constitution, a document designed to limit government, not people. The framers of the Constitution were acutely aware of the dangers of concentrated power and sought to create a system of checks and balances to prevent any one branch of government from becoming too powerful. They understood that a government that is too powerful can easily become tyrannical. Yet, throughout our history, those in power have attempted to circumvent these limitations. Politicians and leaders have often sought to expand their authority, sometimes subtly and other times overtly, by passing laws and enacting policies that encroach upon our freedoms. These actions are often justified by claims of necessity or the greater good, but they ultimately undermine the very foundation of our republic. They pass laws that infringe upon our liberties, often under the guise of good intentions. Whether it's in the name of national security, public safety, or social order, these laws can erode our rights and freedoms if left unchecked. It's a delicate balance between maintaining order and preserving liberty, and it's a balance that requires constant vigilance. This begs the question, what happens when the very laws meant to protect us betray us? When the institutions designed to safeguard our freedoms instead become instruments of oppression, we are faced with a profound challenge. It is in these moments that the true strength of our society is tested. The answer is simple. We fight back. We exercise our right to free speech, to assemble, and to petition the government for redress of grievances. We use the tools provided by the Constitution to hold our leaders accountable and to demand that our rights be respected. We challenge, we dissent, and we remind those in power that their authority flows from the consent of the governed, a consent contingent upon upholding the Constitution. This is not just a theoretical concept, but a practical reality that has been demonstrated time and again throughout our history. From the civil rights movement to the fight for women's suffrage, Americans have repeatedly stood up to demand that their rights be recognized and respected. This document, and the freedoms it guarantees, is not a relic of the past, but a living testament to the enduring spirit of liberty. It serves as a constant reminder of the principles upon which our nation was founded, and the ongoing struggle to ensure that those principles are upheld. Our forefathers fought and died for these principles, and we must be prepared to do the same. Their sacrifices laid the groundwork for the freedoms we enjoy today, and it is our responsibility to honor their legacy by remaining vigilant and committed to the cause of liberty. The fight for freedom is never truly over, and it is up to each generation to carry the torch forward. The presence of a law does not automatically make it just or constitutional. Laws are written by humans, and humans are fallible. They are often influenced by prejudice, fear, and ignorance. History is littered with examples of laws that were widely accepted, yet morally reprehensible. Jim Crow laws, which enforced racial segregation and disenfranchised African Americans, and the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II, where innocent people were imprisoned solely based on their ethnicity, these stain our national conscience. They remind us that legality does not equate to justice. They serve as stark reminders that popularity does not equal morality, and that the majority can be wrong. The government, which is supposed to protect its citizens, can also be a weapon of oppression, just as easily as it can be a tool for good. It is crucial to remain vigilant and question the laws that govern us. The ink on a page holds no inherent moral weight. A law is just words until it is put into action, and its true nature is revealed through its impact on people's lives. A law derives its legitimacy from its adherence to the Constitution, which is meant to safeguard our fundamental rights and freedoms. When the two are in conflict, it is the duty of every citizen to stand up and say, "This law is unjust. This law is wrong, and it shall not stand." It is through collective action and unwavering commitment to justice that we can create a society where laws truly reflect our highest moral values. The Constitution, specifically Article 1, Section 8 and the Bill of Rights, lays out a clear blueprint for limited government. Article 1, Section 8 explicitly enumerates the powers granted to Congress, leaving all others to the states and the people. The Bill of Rights further restricts government by guaranteeing fundamental rights such as freedom of speech, religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. These amendments are not mere suggestions. They are the chains that bind the government, preventing it from encroaching upon the sacred liberties of individuals. When the government oversteps these boundaries, it ceases to be a protector of liberty and becomes a perpetrator of tyranny. The Supreme Court, as the ultimate arbiter of the Constitution, has a responsibility to strike down laws that violate its principles. Throughout American history, the court has done just that, overturning laws that discriminated against minorities, restricted free speech, or infringed upon religious liberty. Brown v. Board of Education, which declared state-sponsored segregation in public schools unconstitutional, stands as a beacon of hope and a testament to the power of judicial review. The court's role is not to legislate from the bench, but to ensure that the laws passed by Congress and the states adhere to the supreme law of the land, the Constitution. When the court fulfills this duty, it acts as a bulwark against tyranny and a defender of individual liberty. Section 5. Guardians of the Constitution. While the Supreme Court plays a vital role in upholding the Constitution, it is not the only guardian of our liberties. Every citizen, every elected official, every branch of government has a sworn duty to defend and uphold the Constitution. This duty is not optional. It is the bedrock of our republic. The Constitution is not a self-enforcing document. It requires vigilant citizens, a courageous judiciary, and a legislature committed to the principles of limited government. When one of these pillars falters, the entire edifice of liberty is at risk. Section 6. A citizen's duty. Resistance to overreach. What happens when the government, entrusted with protecting our rights, becomes their chief violator? This is a question that has echoed through the annals of American history, challenging each generation to stand up and be counted. When faced with unconstitutional laws, Americans have a right, even a duty, to resist. This resistance is not just a reaction. It is a proactive stance to safeguard the liberties that define our nation. This resistance can take many forms: peaceful protest, civil disobedience, legal challenges. Each method, while different in approach, shares a common goal: to uphold justice and ensure that the government remains a servant of the people, not their master. The American spirit has always been one of defiance against tyranny, a refusal to bow to unjust laws. This spirit is woven into the very fabric of our nation, inspiring countless acts of bravery and sacrifice. From the Boston Tea Party to the Civil Rights Movement, these acts of resistance have shaped the course of our history, reminding us that freedom is never free. Americans have a long and storied history of resisting government overreach. Each generation has faced its own challenges, and each has risen to the occasion, proving that the fight for liberty is a continuous journey. This spirit of resistance is not about anarchy. It is about accountability. It is about ensuring that those who hold power do so responsibly and with respect for the rights of all citizens. It is about reminding those in power that they govern with the consent of the governed, a principle that is fundamental to our republic. This consent is not a blank check. It is conditional upon the protection of our rights and freedoms, a consent that can be withdrawn when they trample upon our fundamental rights. In this way, resistance to overreach is not just a duty. It is a vital part of our society, ensuring that our government remains of the people, by the people, and for the people. Section 7. Defending the Dream. The American experiment, this grand endeavor of self-government, is not a guarantee but a challenge. It is a challenge to each generation to uphold the principles of liberty, to stand against tyranny in all its forms, and to pass on the torch of freedom to the next generation. Let us be the generation that meets this challenge head-on, that defends the Constitution, and ensures that the dream of a free and prosperous America endures for all time. In conclusion, respect for law is a basic tenet of our society and the integrity of our judicial system. But the right to defy an unconstitutional law is also basic to our constitutional structure. Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God, proposed by Benjamin Franklin for the motto of the Great Seal of the United States. If you are passing or enforcing unconstitutional laws, you are a tyrant. All tyrants need to be removed from positions of power. All public officials take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution from all enemies, both foreign and domestic. We have too many enemies of the Constitution in positions of power in this country. Maybe we need to follow the writings of Thomas Jefferson. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. I refuse to respect or follow any law that infringes on any of my rights. My rights are not up for debate or negotiation. Stay frosty, my friends. Keep your head down and your powder dry.